So next next life skill is like on problem solving. So whenever we encounter some issue and all, when we are not able to find the ways to what you call effectively manage it, then uh, then different kinds of problem solving strategies would help us to do that. So what are the techniques when we talk about the problems? Many times we jump into the problem without even understanding it. That could be the problem of it. So the techniques is basically we talk about first understand the problem, then visualize it. We call it as read and heed. Then what we know about the problem and what we don't know not about the problems, and relationship between those knowns and unknowns can matter a lot. Then generation of strategies how to solve a problem, because you cannot have a single strategy. So you have to have a range of strategies of which one of them will be utilized, and then apply and solve, because now you have to apply one of the strategies which you have what you call developed, and sometimes when similar problem comes we may have to repeat if necessary. So now when you talk about this what you call problem solving, as I said, understanding the what you call the nature of the problem itself is more important. Then the second thing is the factors which aggravate the problem, factors which influence or increase or decrease, and different solutions that also matters a lot. As I said, the strategies to be worked out, and you have to choose the best. So that's where we are going to talk about more about how to choose the best strategy. Then comes what you call the problem solving loop. So when you talk about a loop, it's a kind of cycle where we are going to manage or solve our problems and how it works out. So look into the next slide where we are going to talk about the problem solving loop, where first what you call we identify the problem, followed by exploration of information and create ideas, because that's what I'm telling about what is known and what is unknown, and then select the best idea or strategies to solve the problem. And now you have to apply or execute the idea or the strategies which you have employed. Then comes evaluating the results, how we are going to evaluate whether the strategy was employed was good enough or effective enough to solve the problem, or it ended up with more problem. So if it is not there, you have to come back and you have to choose another strategy and continue with this. So that's where the problem solving loop works. Then how to solve the problems? Now understand there are four types of problems are there. Usually when you talk about the problems, we usually discuss about four types of problems. The first one is the solution article. The problem is known. The solution requires just action. The second one is problem is known, but solution requires additional expertise. Third one, the article problem is still known, but solution requires creative approaches. And the fourth one is the problem is unknown, but you need to identify. This is quite tricky ones. So we start with the problems of first type, known, and solution requires just action. Can from the audience, can anyone can what you call tell how to do this? The problem is known, and you require just a small action to resolve the problem or the issue. Anyone there? From the what you call your classroom what you call example or college campus example, you know the problem and a simple action is enough to solve the problem. Anyone there?
Can you please repeat the problem, sir? There was an issue with the internet.
Okay, now can you see the slide, madam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there are four types of problems, madam. One is
Yes.
the problem is known, and what you have to do is just requires just action. The second one is the problem is known but requires additional expertise. Third one is problem is known but requires creative approaches. And the fourth one is problem definitely unknown and needs to be identified. In all these types, we require some kind of solution. So we start with the first one. Problem is known, but solution requires just action.
Category, we can say students
Do you
are
want us to give any kind of example?
Yes.
in first category.
So when the students are making noise, we know that we need to control them in order to deliver our goods.
Okay.
And of course, we have to make them silent and then deliver the goods. A simple example.
Okay. Anybody else can give other examples?
Students are not that much attentive, then we need to change our way of delivering lectures.
Yes. Very simple. When the students are not attentive, you change the teaching style or make it more attractive by using additional strategies. The second type, problem is known, but it requires additional expertise.
Maybe the poem that we are going to teach is quite a complex one. We need to have a do a lot of reference and then get the things.
Okay, that could be one side. Okay, so I'm going more into a practical side where in a school or in a college, there could be a student who is having a lot of what you call withdrawal symptoms, who is not interested in studies because of various reasons. Though he's what you call intellectually he is above average, but still is finding difficult to adjust to the class. Where your efforts are not enough, you may require a psychological counselor to manage the issue. So this is where a solution requires additional expertise. Where your own what you call expert is not just enough to manage the issue, you may have to go for additional expertise by taking the advice or the counseling of from the other school counselor or college counselor or even a kind of what you call expertise from outsourcing them. But we want a problem solution, that's why. Then the known one, but solution requires creative approaches, which usually we have seen in primary schools and high schools, where the creative approaches would work out.
Through their art, drawing classes.
Madam, you have to highlight the problem and you have to give the solution. We have seen this thing from primary schools to the high schools and all. Practically.
Telling this story.
Madam, what is the problem?
So, are you asking for what we deal with the puzzles in school?
Madam, you have to choose one problem and how you what you call resolve it creatively.
We can extend my I can extend my first example as in this third one condition, students are attentive, they are understanding, but if they are confusing to get what the lecture's subject is or maybe related to concept, in that particular way we need to reform our lecture and we need to add some such type of tricks that students can be understand.
Okay, I'll make it very simple. You can think of more problems later. I'll make it very simple. In a class, you find all types of students, mischievous and all. If a student is more mischievous, all the time troubling the classes, usually you have seen in primary or high schools and all, the most mischievous students is made as class monitor.
A leader or a monitor.
That's
Yes.
what exactly I
Or-
wanted to tell. Huh?
Yes.
Are you getting my point? where this is
Okay, sir.
where
Okay,
you
got
have
it.
used a creative approach. So based on that creative approach, now when this mischievous students or a problem student has given a power, now he has to control the class rather than he has to create or rather than he is making a nuisance in the class. Now he only will get given opportunity to control the class. Now this is what you call a creative approach, where you are turning negative into the positive one. Okay, we'll look one by one. Okay, as I said, we discussed about this. Additional expert also we required, where skills are required, and known solution requires new approaches. That also we discussed. Require changing perceptual positions as well as holistic, lateral, and outside the box thinking of their solution. Now, when you talk about the outside the box thinking for their solution, we before that what you call before the class this one our finishing the first session, I gave a problem like this. How many came out with the what you call correct answer, or you could make out this what you call answer? This is at the third level. We say
So,
it's a out of the box solution. Anybody came up
so
with this?
minimum 5 lines required, sir. I tried several times, but minimum 5 straight lines were required for connecting all these dots without lifting pen.
Madam, I'm asking out of the box solution because I cannot give you with the 5 because it's very easy for you.
S shape.
Huh?
Yes,
Anybody has
shape.
tried?
So it's actually sorry to say this, but I've seen it before. It is actually the solution is being given by the Nobel Prize winner. He comes out with a different answer where all the lines are not joined, but it makes the shape of a triangle coming out with one line in between and touching all the points.
5 shape one. It's
Can you see this answer, please?
Yes, sir. The same thing.
Yes, sir.
So when you said out of the box means I never said you should not extend the lines, you should not do this. So if you say the first line goes like this, if you see the cursor, second line comes like
Madhu.
third line extend and fourth.
ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ತಂದು ಕೊಟ್ರು ಬಟ್
Madam, somebody is
ಕಾಲೇಜ್
online
ಬರೀ
talking,
ಸಿಗ್ನೋ
please.
ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಯಾರು ಮೇಡಮ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಮೇಡಮ್. Are you getting the solution now?
ನಾವು ಕಳ್ಸಿರೋದು
yes.
ಗೂಗಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
Yes, sir. We're getting it. We're getting it. Sir, I got
Madam, somebody is talking. Can you identify and ask her to?
ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು
ಸರ್ವಮಂಗಳ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ನಮ್ದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ನೇಮ್ ಫುಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ.
Who is on the line?
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್
ಸರ್ವಮಂಗಳ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಪೇಪರ್ದು ಟೈಟಲ್
Sumangala madam.
ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Sumangala madam, can you mute?
ಹಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟೆಡ್ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗೇ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Sumangala madam, can you mute please?
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಆಕ್ಚುಲ್ ಆಗಿ.
Not listening actually.
Can someone inform her?
Sir, she's on a call, so even though we are giving a chat, she's not able to see it.
ಸರ್ವಮಂಗಳ
The-
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
Number of students noted.
ಸರಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
Sumangala madam, can you mute yourself please? Because we are listening your talk. Muted, huh?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, this is what you said out of the box solution where okay for 4 lines. Okay, sir. Now the challenge is we are much more getting into deeper problem solving with the 3 lines. Initially, you had a problem with the what you call 4 lines or 5 lines. Now the challenge is, can you connect all these dots with the 3 lines? And the answer is yes. Anyone there? Or you want me to show the answer? or you want me to show the answer?
Sir, show the answer.
Yes, sir. Show the answer, sir.
And the answer is yes. So it all depends upon how we critically think. Are you seeing the answer, madam, now? All the participants. So what the answer is, you what you call start from this side, connect on the top, continue on the center and connect the bottom part of the first, extend the line, top, middle and bottom, extend the line, top, middle and bottom. Now understand how we what you call, initially we had a problem with the 4 lines. Now later it is so easy that we can do it even with the 3 lines. So this is how what you call one can manage what you call a problem solving, and we usually we refer it as out of the box solutions. Now coming back to the common day-to-day problems, I want to tell something very interesting. Why we are finding it difficult to solve the problem? Because most of the times we don't think of the solution, we think of the problem and its gravity more and more, but we never thought of solutions. Because we think more about the problem, this is where the problem lies. The second thing is, when I talk about a problem solving issues, now the idea is where I talked about what you call problem solving, see the problem from an outsider point of view. Don't think from your own point of view and you are seeing the problem, then it will be more serious. See that problem from an outsider view as if the problem is faced by others, and what you can think about it as an outsider. I think the solution will be much faster. So this is where what you call you can solve on the third level. And the last part is unknown need to be identified. Problem is unknown, need to be identified. But because sometimes problem itself is unknown, we are blind to a problem. Okay, this will not allow to achieve more. So now what best we can do is, okay, dealing with self solution is challenging assumptions. We have to go for why and what if, because we don't know the what you call solutions yet. So we have to go for what and why and what if questions, benchmarking and cross pollination of ideas. Thereby we can solve, maybe little difficult, we can solve all the 4 types of problems. So these are the things which what you call we can think of. And the next part we are going to discuss is the critical thinking. And I'm connecting again to the problem solving, what you call, where how what you call these two are connected. One is they go hand in hand, because one is like they are positively this one. And critical thinking skills need to be continuously improved. And how do you do that? Reading articles, observing others, past experiences, and use skills already obtained. That also can happen. So all these things where by that you can improve the critical thinking. This is where we are going to stop here with the problem solving part. The next 2 skills quickly we are going to do is emotional and self awareness skills as life skills. And whenever we talk about life emotional skills, I'm basically directly jumping into emotional intelligence, where nowadays the emotional intelligence, social intelligence are given more priority than the traditional intelligence. So, what is this emotional intelligence? Basically, it's a person's ability. That is more important. Person's ability to understand our own emotions, the emotions of others, and act appropriately using these emotions. So, suppose some person comes angrily and shouts at you, you don't have to get what you call shout back. That means you are not understanding the emotion of the other person, and you are overemphasizing your emotions. This is not emotional intelligence. This is a normal way of reaction. So if you are really emotionally intelligent, then you should be able to understand your own emotions, try to understand the other person's emotions, and then appropriately behave. That is more important. That part will be considered as emotional intelligence. The moment you understand others' emotions and try to behave keeping your emotions in mind, that constitute emotional intelligence. And it's given a lot of prominence nowadays. And as researchers say, it has never stopped growing. Okay, because of the evolution and evolving as people, emotional quotient is something must be nurtured and more prominence is given. So there are few elements of emotional intelligence as what you call given by Daniel Goleman. One is self-awareness, and then the self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. What you call these are what you call elements of EI. Self-awareness, how much we know about ourselves. Self-regulation, how much we control ourselves. Motivation, how much we are motivated to do things. Empathy, there's a lot of difference between empathy, sympathy, and apathy. So empathy is the topmost layer of what you call showing sympathy. Then social skills, where how best we manage what you call the social environment around us effectively. All these constitutes elements of emotional intelligence. Now, why nowadays the focus is given more on emotional intelligence? It's said that it's the strongest predictor of the workplace performance. Being emotional intelligence, you can manage things better. And the survey has said 90% of the top performers in the world have high emotional intelligence. That's why the traditional intelligence takes a step back. Then people with the average IQs outperform those with the highest IQs 70% of the time. That's why sometimes people who have scored very high first rank and all, they may not settle well, but those who just got average or above average, they have done fantastic things. There are enough examples from the history and technology. Then several research and EA as being the critical factor that set the star performers apart from the rest of the pack. So those who have got what you call having a good performance, even in business or commerce or in any other ventures, it is said that they have got high emotional intelligence. And the way we measure emotional intelligence is referred as emotional uh, quotient or EQ. So in EQ, what we do is uh, it's a part of the what you call whole person, and three things are important: IQ, EQ, and personality of the individual. So the expertise part called as IQ, what you bring to work. The personality part is who are you at work, and UQ is how you make the most of both. That is the combination of this expertise and personality. Your expertise and your personality can make your EQ better. Now, why this is required even in the educational sector? Now, this is what you call the idea of what you call emotional quotient is there even what you call in the classroom sector. Why? Because of the following characteristics, and these characteristics are basically the following one. Characters of emotional intelligent people. How you know one's feelings? Basically, what you call basically you see how your students are feeling about it, about your class, their own perceptions. All this matter. Then managing your own emotions and feelings appropriately. Sometimes you get angry in the class, but you have to manage those emotions and your feelings to be managed appropriately inside the class. Then able to motivate self. That's also important. Self motivation is as one of the part in emotional intelligence makes a lot of difference. Then ability to persist in face of frustrations. Yes, all the time we are not fine. We end up with the what you call frustration, where the frustration part can come from various sources. It could be our own college campus or it could be at home. But we should able to manage those frustrations, overcome those frustrations effectively. Then emotional intelligence is required. And those people who have got good emotional intelligence, they have got ability to control impulses and delay gratification. It happens because sometimes we go for immediate gratification and by thereby lose. So rather than that, what do you call, we can do in a better way. Then ability to empathize with others. Do you really having a empathy character or apathy character? The more you sympathize and empathize with others, they also start liking you, because the empathy factor can have a lot of positive feelings than the negative feeling. Capacity to hope is another issue where you can manage better. Then lastly, one can improve those people having high emotional intelligence have got better social competencies. Now, it is said that our emotions are what you call influenced by many issues. Just one of the picture I'm going to show you. Whom we are going to see this in the picture? Anyone can answer this?
Einstein, sir.
Huh?
Einstein.
Madam,
Einstein.
are you sure, madam? Okay, you are saying Einstein, right? I'm going to, okay. Is that majority of the telling you are going to see Einstein? I'm increasing the size of the picture.
Yes, sir.
Are you clear, madam? Now I reduce the picture. Just the size of it. Whom you are seeing, madam? Or sirs?
Some lady.
Can you name the lady, madam?
Marilyn Monroe.
See, if you see from a distance, the picture looks like Marilyn Monroe. And if you see from distance, or if the picture is bigger, that means don't you think our emotions are influenced by what we see? So that's what I'm telling. Our influence is pursued as we feel the distance too. Then, having all that, how to increase your EQ? One is conduction of a personal inventory. By yourself, you are checking and analyze the setting and identify the skills needed. That's also more important. Then enlist the trusted friends. You should. All of us have got good. All of us have got friends. How many of you have got good and what to call trusted friends? Difficult. What to call finger counts. Then focusing only on few competencies. Don't think that you are a master of all. No, you have to focus on only few competencies. One important thing in emotional intelligence is practice, practice, practice. And the next part is be observant and reflective. When you talk about this observation and reflection, that gives more about us rather than others. Don't go for immediate gratification. That means don't expect immediate results. Learn from or like your mistakes, because if you repeat the mistake, then you are not emotionally intelligent. But next time, if you don't repeat the mistake, that shows that you have learned something and you don't repeat it. And acknowledge your successes. We fail to article acknowledge our successes, so that also part of it. Now, how to develop EQ? So, a 4 quadrants model, okay, is given already. That is where you are going to talk about 4 aspects. One is self, that yourself, and another is the other person, and other side you can find awareness and actions. So in quadrant 1 you can find emotional self awareness. That's the self part and awareness. The basic question here is who am I and what are my potential areas of development? Remember, each person has got a different areas of potential areas of development. It's not unique for all. That's a quadrant 1. Go to the quadrant 2, emotional self control. How can I self regulate my emotions so I can be right and what you call effective? So it is self as well as actions. So it's a self regulation where controlling yourself. See the third quadrant. Others means now social and awareness. Social awareness. How can I transmit a perspective so that I can understand value others? The next part is social skills, that is others and actions. How do I build teams and create constructive work relationships? All these are required even in a classroom environment. So That's where you can manage better. Now, this is where you are going to talk about the emotional part of it. And the next part we are going to talk about is, anyway, I'm not going to discuss much about characteristics of a low EQ and a high EQ person. You can always read that. Nanjana Swami sir will give a PPT for that. You can manage with that. Quickly, we are going for anger and anger management as emotional and self-awareness. Now, when you talk about anger and anger management, now usually it is said that it's a basic emotion, and no person you can see without any anger. In our lifetime, we must have got angry several times. Some are more angry, some are less angry, but anger is a basic emotions. So, now what basically we are going to talk about is what you call how the anger comes, how to manage it. Now, why we get what you call angry? So, anger is typically triggered by a threat. Something is threatening you, or is a perceived. Sometimes we think that something is going to happen, or when you have an injustice to you, or when you are hurt, or when your frustration faced with an obstacle. Whenever something is blocked, we get angry. So, the situational part and the other things can make us angry. But please remember, it's a normal feeling that we all experience. It's not something what you call uh, abnormal feeling. It's a normal feeling that we all experience. Now, usually we say anger and aggression are like happening simultaneously or one leads to the other. But remember, aggression is one negative way in which individuals express anger, because one of the negative consequences of anger is the aggression. So it can have a big damage. Okay. There is a, sometimes we call it as a silent anger. You may not talk, but it will be there inside. Now it is called as silent anger. And the aggression can have a lot of negative impact, like there could be damage with the words fists or with the weapons. But aggression is basically to what you call manage your anger, I think mostly in a negative way rather than in a positive way. Then there are so many other things. But some people, what they do is they can express their anger without being verbally or physically abusive. Now, sometimes we refer it as what you call the silent part of it. So that also can happen. Now, what are the triggers? See now, one by one. A specific person or event can be what you call trigger anger in you or evoke anger in you. Insult in front of the others can trigger anger. Your stress and worries can have what you call trigger anger in you. Disappointment or annoyance, all these things will be definitely evoke anger. Your own fears, resentment, and frustration can have anger on you. When you are rejected by others, hurt by others, and embarrassed by others, definitely to bring anger. Then somebody takes away your possessions or somebody breaks, that also can bring anger. Jealousy on others can bring anger. Being teased or talked about, yes, not a good idea. This brings anger. When you yourself have low esteem or you self evaluate lower, that can bring low anger. A grief can bring anger. For some people, home life could be anger. Now, having all this, how can we avoid anger? One of the simple aspect is, if you know the anger triggers, you know that it's going to come now, then you can either try to avoid. The best way to avoid the anger, don't be in that place, avoid the place. You know that this is going to happen something negative, rather than staying at that place, better you move from that place. In the next level, you should know how to deal with the anger, because sometimes you must have seen people, when some people keep on scolding, the other persons keep on smiling. That means they are not angry, but they are managing in a very different way. So you should know how to deal with them. So you should know how to put your feelings into words, explore and name the emotions, so that now you get to know what exactly what you call you are going to do. Are you going to put in words? Are you going to explore, or are you going to do something else? So, controlling your anger. Remember, whenever we are angry, we are going to react in some way. How do we react is called as anger style. How do we react? Usually we act out. We immediately react to it and we do something for it when you are angry. So that is one of the anger style. Then the dumping part. We don't take the responsibility we put on others. We just dump. Or sometimes burying act. What we'll do is we'll just ignore it, or we could just get out of it. That's a kind of burying part. So that also can happen. But if the anger goes out of control, what can happen? See, the first one can trigger a large number of antisocial behaviors. You must already seen how the anger can lead to negative things. Can trigger negative consequences too. And it can hurt physical health. Yes, if you all the time you are in angry, you might end up in psychosomatic disorders. But it is said that you can't always control the situation you are in or how it makes you feel. But there in one time you can control how you can express your anger. The simple thing is you cannot control the situation, but you can control your expression. So the more is with you. How you control your expression of your anger matters more than what makes a situation angry. This is where what you call uh, when uncontrolled anger can lead to negative consequences. Now, remember, you should make what you call think about yourself, about the anger part itself. The simple thing is, when you talk about this, you should know when it harms you. Definitely, you know about it, and when it leads to aggression, when it harms people around you, when it disrupts school or your college relationships, when it's too frequent, intense, or last long, when it harms affects your overall quality of life, when chronic explosive anger spirals out of anger. Now remember, if you can answer all this and you are able to what you call manage these things, remember all what you call if you are able to control that. When I said anger comes when it harms you, definitely it harms when people around you, okay, and when it disrupts your actions, when it happens again and again, and when you think that it's going to affect your quality of life and so many other things. And remember, all these things can have a lot of negative consequences, lead to antisocial behaviors, and might have a big toll later. So you have to be very careful about it. Now, what happens with anger? Few important things. Many times anger has led to legal troubles. It has dragged to the what you call police station or the courts. Okay, can lead problems at school, college, home, or community. May have ended up with relationship problems because of lot of anger. Person may ended up with the substance abuse, physical problems, and emotional problems. Led to low self-esteem and other so many things. So by having more of anger, we are experiencing more of negatives than the positives. Now the question is, do you really have to feel angry, or even if you are feeling angry, to what extent is the next question. But what are the anger cues? You get to know that what you call when you get angry. One is the clenched fist. This is a very common thing where you try to clench your fist. Indirectly, others will get to know that okay, there is something wrong in you. And racing and pounding heartbeat, because now the adrenal rushes in and the heart rate increases, where we call it as emergency hormone will get into. So racing and pounding heartbeat can happen. You may sweat a lot. Not only that, even over the phone or when facing talk to talk, when you talk face to face, every time there could be a loud voice under the anger conditions. And as usual, one can find a red face. And because of all this, there could be upset stomachs. So all these are giving a what you call idea that you are getting angry. And if it's happening again and again, that is not a good idea, because that gives idea that you may have to change your lifestyle, you may have to change the way you deal with others, you may have to change your interpersonal, the way you behave in your interpersonal relationships. All calls for a major change where you can manage your anger better. But remember, what are the warning signs? You know that these are the cues where you are what you call that you are getting angry. But warning signs, remember, whenever you are angry, these things are very common. You cannot focus. The first thing, you cannot focus on the task which has been assigned. Now, in that angry mood, you start by scolding and insulting people. As we already said, heavy breathing is a very common feature. Then we get into more argumentative mode, though we are wrong, because we are just what you call argumentative. There could be pace and stare where that can lead to more negatives. And some people, when they are angry, they just go quiet and shut down. That's also one of the warning signs. Some people from child, even the children you must see, the first thing is they throw things. That's a typical way of expression of anger. Making an angry face, become aggressive is regularly known. Use profanity and crying also another thing. And you keep on thinking about the problem or the individual who is creating or the source of anger. That gives more and more repetition for you, and it has got lot of what you call uh, physiological changes might arise, and that is not good for your both mental and physical health. So that also can happen. So what to do then? Usually the psychologists say cool off, stay calm. The best thing is cool off, stay calm, walk away, don't be in the place where the anger situation is going to happen, and count to 10. No, I don't say count to 10, count to 100, because you get more time. The moment if you manage that time, I think you have managed anger well. But if you don't give a space or the break, I think you are spoiling that time and getting more angry and becoming more what you call victim to the anger. And you say in psychology, self talk, you're talking to yourself. What is that talk? I can handle this matter. I think I should not get angry. It's not as bad as it seems. And you should think that you are in a peaceful place. Then this is where what you call where you can manage the things in a beginning way. The first thing, as you say, don't be in the place where you are going to think that something is going to happen because of the anger situation. Vacate that place, walk away. The usual people say is count, so count more. Then give some time to sort things out. That's why patience. Don't react immediately. The moment you start reacting immediately, the other person also react immediately. Then there's no difference between you two people. So idea here is pause and start thinking. Now, how to do that? If you have got a paper, write down that problem on a paper. Ask yourself, what really happened? Who is wrong? Whether me wrong or the other person is wrong. How I was triggered? Who triggered? Whether I am wrong or the other person is wrong, or whether unnecessarily I hyped the situation. Sometimes some people were unnecessarily hype the things. For small things, they are making it a big thing. Now, is that is the case? What were my cues? Start questioning. And if you're not able to answer your well, can you talk it out over the friend or adult? A clean or open discussion with your friend or a senior person that what is happening to you, and then discuss whether you are right or wrong in an honest way. Keep away all your ego and all other things. And as I said earlier also, look at the situation from a different viewpoint. How other people would react to such situations. Now, I think you will get more lot of clarity. Definitely you can change. Many times we say, turn your this one, no, you don't have to bother much about anger. Can you turn into what you call a positive way? And what is this positive way? Change for the better. So you must have seen in movies and all, whenever they get angry, they start running or they hitting that what you call the back, where they are channelizing that angry into a physical activity. That also people have done. Then try to solve the problem in a realistic way, not in an irrational way, where we say the problem solution should come from what you call win-win solution rather than win-lose or lose-win solution. So try to solve the problem in a what you call win-win solution way. That is a better way to handle. Then many times we don't accept the situations, but here you have to try to accept situations which we don't have control or which we cannot change. Now changing our view of a situation can change our reaction to it. So many times we have seen the situations or we have what you call we have what you call overhyped what you call the situations which is in reality it is not. So that's where change our view automatically. uh, Rather than changing that, we can think of doing something better. So I can tell you on a simple thing, don't let anger control you, take control over the anger. That is more important. Don't take what you call don't let anger to control over you. Better you take control over the anger, then things will be fine. So how to do that? Exercise self control is the ability to resist. You resist the inappropriate behavior, dealing effectively with emotions, anger and developing patience. Okay, that can be this one. And people already said maintaining self control is the key to managing anger. So the more you are controlled by yourself, that is good. Now, to conclude on the anger management, everybody gets angry. Life is just like that. The difference comes in what you do about it. How do you react to it? So on a simple level, get a grip over it. The moment you moment you get a grip over the anger, I think you are fine. You are managing your anger. So that's about anger and anger management. The next part, in few minutes, we are going to discuss is the self-awareness. Again, one of the life skills as advocated by WHO. What is this self-awareness? To know yourself is the beginning of wisdom, as Socrates has said. We know more about others, but the problem is we don't know about ourselves. It happens many times. So that's a what you call self-awareness part, knowing yourself. So what do you mean by self-aware? It's not just the absence of mistake, but the ability to learn and correct them. We know that if we are doing some mistake, can we correct it and do a better job? That is self-awareness. Now, according to C.G. Jung, everything that irritates us about others can lead to an understanding of ourselves. Why should we get irritated about others? Do we have that same property with us? Same character with us? So, you are the better person to decide. Then, the more you know about yourself, is gives a sense of power and control over oneself, because for us we are the leaders and we have to lead by ourselves. Many times self-awareness can be a limitation or it can be a facilitator of personal learning and growth. So when you talk about this all this, if we see the iceberg of self-awareness, what we know is only 10%, what we don't know is more than 80%. So what is observable awareness? Our appearance, language, habits, customs, behavior and skills and talents. They're all observable awareness factors. What is unorganized, not known? Our beliefs, values, attitudes, self-image, personality style, assumptions, learning styles, all these which are unobservable. Remember, the more you start exploring the unobserved things, the more you are having a self-awareness. So, if we see the picture, it's very clear. What matters most is how you see yourself. That is self-awareness. What matters most of is you is how you see yourself. The picture makes you very clear. So, when you talk about self-awareness and its meaning, our attitudes, feelings, motives, desires, strengths, and makes our awareness. Attitude makes our opinion. Feelings decide our emotions. Motives directs our purposes. Desire leads to needs, and strengths and weaknesses are the part of it. And accurate self-assessment, if you do, that means you are a better individual. We'll see one small exercise. I'm showing a picture on the screen. I need a quick answer. What you are seeing there?
A frog.
Any answer?
Frog.
Frog. Okay, fine.
Sir, it is
More
a
answers?
frog.
It's a frog. More answers. More answers. Only frog you're seeing?
So probably a snake kind of an image.
Snake. Okay. I don't see snake anyway. Okay, because we are running short of time. Okay, there you can see two of the things. Okay, I'll tell you, either you can see a frog or you can see a horse.
Frog.
Madam, that is what you are whom are speaking from that side. If you see what you call, if you see this as a face, if you're seeing the hopefully you're seeing the cursor, this looks like a frog picture.
Frog.
But if you consider whole picture,
Now it will be look like a horse.
are you seeing it?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
No.
Madam,
The
you see
face
the
and body
picture
of
as
horse
it
is
is.
not visible, only tail is visible.
The head is down, madam, here.
Yes,
And
yes, sir.
this is the eyes of the horse. Okay, if you see other way, you get to know. Anyway, either you will see a horse or you will see a frog. Now, what are
Okay,
the
so
characteristics?
this is only the face of the horse.
Fine, madam.
Not
That's
the
what I'm
head.
telling. What you see.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Now, if you see a frog, what is the interpersonality? The interpretation. Your person is undergoing a period of change or transition. It reveals your openness to adaptation and your ease in navigating unfamiliar situations. This is where it's not my information. It's from the net I've taken. Your personality is undergoing a period of change or transition. That means what? Your openness to adaptation and your ease in navigating unfamiliar situations. But if you see a horse, you possess a strong sense of determination. Coupled with your determination is an inherent free spirit, enabling you to overcome any obstacles life presents. Your ability to observe even the minutest details, freedom, determination, and endurance. So the micro observation also you can find here. So I'll go back and I'll show you again. At least those who have seen the frog, can you see at least if you see change your mindset, can you see the frog? Sorry, horse. Horse head at least.
Sir.
Yes, sir, there is a hawk, but the face of a hawk.
Only
Horse.
Head of the horse.
Face.
yes,
Head.
head
Huh?
of the horse.
Head of the horse.
Oh, now you understand. If you see horse, what is your characters, and what if you see horse, what could be? Because looking into horse requires more micro level of observation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what are the key areas of self-awareness? These are the key areas: your personality traits, our values which you attach, our habits, and our emotions and psychological needs. All determines what you call the self-awareness part of it. Jahar, even I'm not going to do it because we we don't have time because we are left in a few minutes. How to create self-awareness is the next question. To know about yourself, best is ask others what they feel about you. Many times we don't know ourselves much because we think that what we do is right, but others can give a better feedback about us. Then reflecting one's own feelings and behavior. Suppose you do an action. Suppose you scolded a student inside a class. Are you right in scolding, or did you scold more, or did you ignore someone? Now that's a reflection. Then taking self-scoring tests. There are a lot of inventories are available about self-awareness. You can always check with them. Then whether what level of self-awareness you have can be managed. So you can create a better self-awareness by yourself. And how do you do the self-analysis? Please ask these questions. Now you are in the teacher position, or if you are a married person, do you like where you are and what you have become? Question I'm not going to answer from you, but you can answer question by yourself. It's good. Do you like where you are and what you have become? Gives a lot of what you call introspection for you. Have you ever wished that your life was different? If you say yes, that means it requires a change. Can your relationship improve? Again, a question for you. Introspection. Are you producing the results that you want? Not only just going and finishing the syllabus, not only managing as a spouse or husband or wife, but are you producing the results that you want? Are you an effective teacher? Are you an effective spouse? Other than rather having a routine work, are you managing better? That's self-analysis, part of self-awareness. Question, answer yourself, you get a better awareness. Now, how to go further? Think of a moment and identify the areas you normally excel. Always, we teachers are supposed to be good in what you call teaching and dissemination of the knowledge. Are we really excelling in that or something else? Where we face difficulties also is another thing of what you call question. And whom do we like? What kind of events we enjoy? And what things we like and dislike also gives a pattern of self-analysis. Who will bring you happiness and who will bring you sadness? I'm telling not by what you call partiality, impartial way can you decide. And the nature and extent of openness you have with others. Some are we say he or she is very bold. That means what? You are quite open. Some they say no, very introverted. That means what? You are not much open. So think of your own self-analysis. And the more you have got self-analysis, it ends up in kind of self-esteem you have. So when you talk about the self-esteem, it's the feeling that you have about yourself. How much you what you call rate yourself, like whether you're good or bad, rating by yourself.
स्कॉलरशिप नाही भेटत ते 1 वर्षाचं एमबी
What do you think about yourself? That also can be managed.
नाही इकडे ओरिजिनल डॉक्युमेंट लागतो कुठं
I think somebody's online and talking. Please mute. Okay. So when you talk about self-esteem, we evaluate ourselves. We decide about ourselves. That means how do you perceive about yourself? A person might say, I'm an introvert and I feel proud of it. The other person might say, I'm an extrovert and I feel proud about it. Now, all these are what you call part of self-esteem. Now, self-esteem is important because the moment you have got less self-esteem, you will have a problem for management. So better you should have always a realistic high self-esteem. So there are a few things what you call it's based on your attitudes, and you can have a detailed reading over it once you get the PPT, which I'm not going to highlight. And how can I identify that whether you have got high self-esteem or low self-esteem? See the first one on the higher side, feeling of worth. You feel better of yourself. You feel quite worthy of yourself. Whereas on the other side, the other person feels helplessness. He feels he is hopeless. A person with a high self-esteem is happy, good, confident. Whereas person with the low self-esteem has a lack of motivation, may be depressed, having more fear. Whereas the person with the high self-esteem is courageous, and his high self-esteem may result in motivation and drives to excel. Because of his high self-esteem, he may be motivated to do better job. Whereas the person with the low self-esteem may consider his life is meaningless. So that also can happen. So you consider yourself whether, and as a teacher, I would like to have your higher self-esteem rather than lower self-esteem trend. Anyway, all these steps of self-esteem, still you have what you call, basically we talk about confidence, and confidence matters a lot, and technically it's called as self-confidence. We must have done it in what you call in our lower classes, and what we have done is exactly, if you see the ladder, it refers the way we think about ourselves. A person with the low self-confidence is on the lower what you call thing, but if he's motivated, now think that a person might say, I won't do it, I'll not do it at all, but they might change, I can't do it. But the next level, the person might think that I want to do it. But once the question comes, he wants to do it, then how do I do it? Then the options, I will try to do it. Now he starts trying to do it, then he can say, I can do it. And later, I will do it. Now the more confidence comes, that leads to the achievement, then he can say, yes, I did it. It all starts with, I'm not doing, then ultimately I did it. So that is the confidence part which one can think of. There are a lot of other things, okay, which you can what you call this one. There's assessment also you can think of, and self-efficacy you can think of. And another few minutes left.